Actually, how do you play it out every day? How do you get some of this into your everyday life? How do you get physis, this ancient Greek term, into your everyday life? That's why I'm so thrilled about talking about it today. And here you are, many years later, still loving the guitar and loving music. So
Not,
he
not
had.
that many. Not
Oh, sorry, I forgot I'm the old
idea
guy.
of we should talk about.
Physis,
Oh,
physis. What a beautiful word.
it
You
is.
know,
It kind of sounds like Physis is where fear doesn't stop curiosity.
oh, how lovely.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to OK Everyday, a podcast about transactional analysis, or TA, and its application. The core belief and basic philosophical position of TA is that I'm okay and you're okay. But we've all experienced times when we felt not okay, when we questioned ourselves, we questioned others in a negative and self-critical kind of way. That limits us from experiencing life to the fullest. That's why myself, Alexi, and Jason, a pro in transactional analysis, will dive into how to make us closer to being and feeling okay every day. Interested? Come join us.
Hello, Jason.
Hello, Ollie, my friend.
How's your week been?
It's been good. It's been good. It's a sunny day today. You probably can't see
It
on this
is.
podcast, but it's a sunny day. So, and I think the weekend's going to be even sunnier. So, I'm going to get out and bask in the sun for a while. What about you? Are you looking forward to the weekend?
Yes. Looking forward to the weekend. I've got some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu classes that I'm looking forward to.
Wow.
So very much looking forward to that. And just really spending time with my family. So
Nice.
yes, the day is very nice. And although people who are listening and watching this cannot see it, but your background is very lovely. So that's somewhat as as the world outside is right now.
This is how my life looks. Like every day, blue skies and green fields.
That's true. Oh, that would be so nice. Every day
At
going there
least in
would be
here,
so
right?
cool. Then, Jason,
Yes, sir.
we have quite the topic today.
Oh, I'm very much looking forward to this, Ollie. It's one of my favorite topics within transaction analysis, and something that
Ooh.
I'm going to talk a bit about when I discovered it. Way
Uh-huh.
back through TA. It's such an interesting topic, such an interesting name, right?
Yes, yes, it is. I mean, I'll give a backstory before we go into it, is because usually we would talk about this topic closer to the end because it's an outcome of transactional analysis. But we had a conversation a few weeks ago, and the thought was, let's get everyone ready to what to expect from TA, right?
Mm, mm.
And this is where we got the idea of we should talk about.
Physis,
Oh,
physis. What a beautiful word.
it is.
You're quite right, Ali. And like, why wait? Why wait till the end to talk about something that's really super interesting? I mean, I love the word itself. And it's strange for me because as you know, I've got dyslexia, and if this word's just stuck with me from the day I heard it. I just thought it's a beautiful word, physis, and even the spelling stuck with me, Physis. What a great
Hmm.
word. What about you? How does that word hit you?
Funnily enough, the way it hit me is because it's Greek.
Mm.
So because my name is Greek. My name
Oh,
comes from Greece. So Alexis would be the original name, and it turned into Alexi. Now, so that's
okay.
so I guess somewhat in the previous generations, Greece had figurated. So I'm guessing this is how it hit me. But I also like the definition of it. So not the TA definition of it, but it's and generally physis is a Greek philosophical, theological, and scientific term, usually translated into English as natura or nature,
Mm.
which is beautiful.
Mm.
So
And yeah, and there's a lot in that. And actually, just before I talk a bit about it, I'd forgotten, Ali, you and I have more in common. Jason is ancient Greek as well as in Jason and the Argonauts. My God. The stuff even I discover on this podcast. We're both
Kalimera, my friend, Kalimera.
from Greek origins, and we didn't know it.
There
But
we go.
yeah, no, I loved it. Like the ancient Greek um, philosophical concept of physis, and Aristotle actually went on and developed it even further. But nature, which also is about change and becoming, or to appear, is sometimes how
Yes.
it's described. Isn't that just kind of, there's a lot in that word.
There seems to be a theme in transaction analysis, which I see is there's a simple word, which if you unpack, it becomes really, really big. Like even the I'm okay, you're okay. But we took 20 minutes to unpack it and we could have gone more.
You got it. You got it. I mean, and it's one of the and we touched on this before. It's one of the interesting things about TA, because often the language seems very, very simple.
True.
And intentionally it is, so kind of everybody has a slight understanding of what it is, you know. But as you said, when you unpack it, it's like, whoa, actually there's quite some depth here. And then actually, how do you play it out every day? How do you get some of this into your everyday life? How do you get physis, this ancient Greek term, into your everyday life? That's why I'm so thrilled about talking about it today.
But before how we get physis, what is physis? So we translated it from Greek. It means nature and or natura.
Mm.
So what does physis mean in transaction analysis?
Yeah, I always think of it as like an energy. And kind of Eric Byrne, I think he's the main guy behind it. He saw it as a kind of an energy as well. It's something that's within all living organisms. So it's not just humans, right? Because it's anything that's alive in nature has physis uh, by being alive. So it's like an energy that grows. Sometimes people might think of it like a life force. Do you know what I mean? It's like something within
Mhm.
you, like a life force that is just there. But as we'll see today, we can grow it, we can get in the way of it, we can make it more enriching. So, one of the things that Byrne said is, when he was talking about physis, is that there's something beyond all of this, kind of beyond all of us, some
Mm.
force that drives people to grow, progress, and do better. So that's what he was talking about when he was referencing physis, is this
Wow.
energy within us, this kind of potential energy that's there every day. And as we'll talk, there's some things that we can help um, increase that, or get in the way of it.
Wow.
I know. He was onto something, right?
I mean, he was onto something, but that force, so that force is physis, or is it another understanding of what physis is, and how does that force connect with physis?
No, the force itself is physis.
There we go.
That's what it is. That's the name, harking back to the ancient Greek. That's what they were talking about as well, trying to figure all this stuff out, nature, uh, becoming a person, right? Life, what's it all about? So this force that's in all living organisms is there, and it's called
Mm,
physis.
wow.
And again, there's some
Mm.
things that can help with that, and some things that kind of get in the way of it.
True. You know what? Funnily enough, when I think that when you were describing physis right now, the thing that came to mind was when I first started playing guitar.
Right.
So it was when I was 15 years old. But I remember that I could spend 8 hours per day just sitting and playing the guitar, whatever it was, learning something, just playing harmonies, just playing notes, all in a row.
Mm.
But I could have spent 8 hours just doing one thing, and it didn't feel wrong. It felt great. And after that, I just got up and I felt on top of the world.
And that's a beautiful example of tapping into your physis and just allowing it to 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 go where it could go. In this case, learning a musical instrument, right? So I know in psychology they call it flow. Is one of the things
Mm,
that's, so it's flow is allowing physis to kind of go where it can go. And as you said, you might have played for 8 hours. Now you might have been a bit tired, but not in a kind of exhausted way,
true.
in kind of an enriching way. But you allowed yourself as a young person to go there, and look what's hanging behind you all these years later. You've followed that through, in some ways to get you to where you are now, to allow that energy to come through.
So, what's the blocker of physis for a lot of people, and for us, including we're same people as everyone else who's listening to this?
Yeah. Oh, and there is, but sometimes we block it consciously, and sometimes, more often than not, we block it unconsciously, right? So,
Mm.
um, if I got another quote here from Byrne. He talks about a growth force of nature which eternally strives to make things grow. right? So
Right.
the idea of allowing the energy to grow, but just like anything like a house plant, for example, which has physis in it, how often we feed that, if we keep it in the shade versus in the sun, will determine how it grows and how it doesn't grow, or might even die out if it's neglected, that kind of way. Yeah. So how does that transfer into us as humans? Well, there's things that we can do that are inherently natural and good for us to help us
Mm.
grow, and then there's things that we can do or put in our way that undermines our ability to grow and develop. And that stems to a certain degree right back to when we were kids. There were
Mm.
certain things that either we could have fed or that could have been fed to us. I'm not just talking about food. I'm talking about kind of interests. Do you know what I
Sure.
mean? If they were nurtured and if we follow the interest and we were encouraged to do them, then both all of a sudden the physis in that area can grow and develop.
Mm.
But if we weren't able to get certain things when we were younger, then that physis energy kind of remained a little bit trapped. It's still there. We haven't
Mm.
lost it, but it just didn't develop in that area. You might hear lots of people talk about, oh, I wish I'd done this and I wish I'd done that because I think I'd be really good at it. And chances are, yes, you probably would have been, and you probably still will, if you allow the interest and the energy to come out in relation to whatever particular area that you want to grow.
Right. The- Oh, so many thoughts. First of all,
That's
there's
physis.
and again, I'm blown away by how one small word of Greek origin can create such a huge discussion
Yeah, yeah.
about life force, about life energy, about how we grow from children to adults, following or not following our interests at some
Mm.
point, and how even this energy, as Eric Byrne described it, and as you earlier described it, can be kind of trapped or sometimes um, looked after and
Yes.
grown, nurtured,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So if you think actually, to come back to your question, how can it be kind of hampered? Well,
Hmm.
for example, we might avoid something because we think it's uncomfortable. So
Mm.
I'm not going to go do that because I might get embarrassed, right? Now that's a psychological hamper we're putting on to something. So often we can avoid doing things because with the idea that it will feel uncomfortable. Now, if we remove that idea, right? If we say, actually, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit uncomfortable because I need to learn and grow in that area. So initially, it might be a little bit uncomfortable, but it doesn't say have to be uncomfortable. I can take away that idea and just go and do it and see what happens. Then I'm in doing whatever it is that I was thinking of doing and learning through it and discovering by allowing the physis out how I am in that doing that thing or in that space. And then I might realize, gosh, I actually really like this. I even like the challenge of it. So I'll do it more. So the physis is coming out by not blocking it by being uncomfortable or thinking I'll be embarrassed or I won't know what I'm doing and stuff like that. So those psychological things hamper physis, take them away,
Mm.
encourage ourselves. No, go give it a go, see what happens, try it out.
Hmm.
Yeah. Then it's like, okay, physis is now starting to grow. And if I keep on encouraging myself, then more will come out.
It kind of sounds like Physis is where fear doesn't stop curiosity.
Oh, how lovely. Jane Mac, we might bottle that one, Ollie. That's a very good definition.
You have a book upcoming.
You're right.
I can suggest that as a quote.
Thank you, sir. No, I think that's brilliant. Absolutely, because it, to a large degree, it is the fear that maybe was put upon us when we were younger.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? That we might have been curious about something or we wanted to go somewhere and we were talked out of it. And one of the ways we were talked out of it was, oh, it's not, won't be for you. You wouldn't like it, that kind of stuff. And we go, oh, okay, yeah. You don't know anybody there. That it's like, oh, okay, you're right. Whereas the little child who, children are full of vices, by the way. You can see them, like if you go to any playground during lunch break, and they're running around, and Physis is kind of spilling out all over the place. Their imagination's going wild, and they're having great fun. And you can also see this. You might even remember yourself, Ollie. I do. I'll have particular teachers that I liked,
Yeah.
and I still remember them. Still remember their name, and I can still remember what they look like. And why that is because they tapped into the Physis and encouraged it within us. That's why they stay in a part of our brain that we have a kind of positive connection with. It's because they allowed it to come out. They didn't shut it down or embarrass us or make us feel like we didn't know something that was a bad thing. Do you have memories like that of people like that who helped encourage the Physis?
For sure. I mean, there's when you reminded about teachers, there were a few people that were in school and in university who kind of came to mind straight away. It was like, and not necessarily that they encouraged Physis per se, but the way they made me feel learning was something, not just reading a book, remembering it, and then telling it to everyone else or passing an exam. It was more of a fun game, if you may. So
Well,
and I was part of that game, and I loved it. I was
yeah.
part of I was playing that game with everyone, and we were all part of it, and it was amazing. It was a great feeling.
Well, what they're doing there is encouraging the Physis connected to learning,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. That learning
Yes.
can be fun and enjoyable, and hey presto, out of it you will learn. But enjoying the process of learning is what they were encouraging there, which is a beautiful use of Physis. Now again, we can also probably think about those teachers who we didn't like, who still stick in our memory, and we still might know their names because they did something else that hampered Physis, that made us maybe afraid, or we might have learned some stuff in their class, but it was out of fear of getting in trouble or something. Might have been the other way, and therefore we might have gone on and not liked, maybe given up on a subject that we could have really enjoyed. I think, for example, I think I probably would have more enjoyed history if it was brought to life for me in the classroom a bit more. I had a lovely teacher, but he really didn't bring it to life. He made it a bit stale and boring. He had his things that he liked. So I think, in hindsight, I'm only thinking about this now, I think I probably would have kind of done well or thrived in history if it was brought more to life. And the Physis in me would then connect it to history or learning, and who knows where I might have gone. That makes
Wow.
sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I instantly remember my guitar teacher.
Aha.
Because and he was very young, so he would, like, I was 15 and I'd say he was less than 25, so he was fairly young for a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And the first question he asked me when I came into the room was, what do you want to play? Which was a completely different question from what I asked, because I'd played the piano before that for 6 years, and I was playing
Wow.
beautiful music. Classical music is beautiful, but my question in my head was, why am I playing music of people who are dead? It's beautiful, but I'm not really connecting with that particular music.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
What I wanted to play was what was popular at the time, or what I heard on the radio, or what my friends were singing.
Yeah.
So in that question, kind of, oh yes, right, awesome. This is what I want to play. It's like, cool, let's do it. Let me teach you
Beautiful.
this.
That was a beautiful, we'll call it a transaction here
Yes.
in TA. So he gave a lovely transaction, which opened it up for you, opened up the Physis, which you resonated with, and then, and here you are many, many years later, still living the guitar and loving music. So
Not,
he
not
had,
that many. Not
oh, sorry. I forgot I'm the old guy, the old happy guy.
What are
Let's put
you
it that way.
trying to tell me right now, Jason?
But one of the things I was thinking of as well is, you and I have kids as well, Ali, and most people, or a lot of people, I should say, who might be listening to this might have kids. Kids get into Physis when they ask questions like, why is the sky blue? What are clouds? What is rain exactly? This is their natural curiosity coming out through Physis, and that can be brilliant to engage with as a parent. It can also be a bit, maybe frustrating and exhausting, but that's our blockages of Physis, as opposed to, oh, I don't know, let's go and let's check it out. Let's go and find out what the answer is and share this learning experiences, rather than going, oh, move on from that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. As a parent, it's sometimes it's sometimes scary to say I don't know to your kid.
Mm,
But
mm,
again, for some reason, I come back to that curiosity piece
yeah,
as like if you nurture curiosity, then it'll always work out.
yeah,
It
yeah. So
does
it's
it
like,
doesn't.
yeah, doesn't get blocked. So there's the difference, right? So it can be blocked. Oh, look, I don't know. Go away and do it yourself, right? Or I don't know, but hey, let's find out together.
Oh,
You
beautiful.
know, then all of a sudden we're both learning, and I'm releasing physis in myself, and the child is definitely getting a good dose of physis.
I think a marker of a good episode is whenever I feel warmth going down my spine, and this is definitely one of those episodes with that last example that you shared.
Physis in action, right there.
Vice, Vice is an action. That's true. That's true. So
Every
if
day.
you
What
were,
about every day? Right?
what about every day? Like
Yeah.
how could you nurture Vices every day or every week?
Definitely. I was just wondering about that myself. So sorry for cutting across you there, but yeah, I just thought the answer is this: every day has potential. The way that I see it, right? So there's inherent potential in every day, which is just energy. And I often think about, it's a word I kind of made up called potentializing. So
Mm,
it's what do I actually do at any particular moment in a day, because it's potential in that moment. And I think the more I potentialize a moment, the more I'm releasing physis. So let's say we were talking about the sun outside, like, so I could, after this, go outside and sit and then really enjoy being part of nature and kind of feeling the sun on my face. Or else, and I might really love that, or I might go for a walk.
mm.
Or I could talk myself out of that and do something else. Do you know what I mean? So I think when I
Even your
talk
facial
myself,
even your facial expression changed when you were saying about, oh, I'm going to go outside and enjoy the lovely weather, or I'm going to talk myself out of it.
yeah, and do something else, you know, less satisfying. So I think those little moments are really important to grow and generate physis every day. Is life shouldn't be all about doing tasks. It should not be all about whether it's chores or work or yes, it's part of, but it shouldn't be all about that. So where can I get this learning energy, this good energy, this in the moment satisfying type energy?
Mm,
And that's by opening up to it. And that includes sometimes doing stuff that might feel a little bit uncomfortable. So another example might be, I want to go for a walk, but it's raining outside. That doesn't matter. The rain's lovely. you know, Go out and enjoy the rain, get your walk in, and so that right there, I think I'm potentializing the devices. Now, if we move that to a more extreme or higher kind of way of doing it, there might be some stuff I'm avoiding that I've always really wanted to do, but
mm,
can't find the time or whatever. Well, time is time, so don't avoid it. Do it. So if you want to kind of, I'm thinking about learning some stuff, signing up for a course. Okay, go do that. Go do some research and sign up straight away. Don't it'll work itself out. I want to like
Beautiful.
learn an instrument. Yeah, go do that. I don't want to learn a language to go.
Have fun. Have fun. I
That's
think
right.
but that's also a thing. Like with children, it's have fun. Go have fun.
Bingo, bingo, bingo. And I think as us grown-ups, as we connected with earlier, I'm a little bit more grown up with my age. We can lose some of that fun, right? So we can take things a bit too serious. And we start to take it
Mm.
serious, we start to hamper physis, and some other stuff starts to kick in, which we'll talk about in some other episodes.
Jason, before we wrap up, we're a little bit over time as we usually are, but before I think it's a really good thing, what I believe in sometimes every day, um, especially with working with Physis or with your life energy,
Mm.
what question would you ask yourself to bring attention towards that? Oh, I'm tapping into that life energy.
Yeah, okay, that's a nice question. Um, to a degree, I might just a couple of things. One is, what am I looking forward to today? Would be a very
Mhm.
straightforward physis question, because there's always things that within our day we ought to look forward to because they're good for us, right? The other question is, if I'm finding something difficult, am I hampering Physis in some way? Am I making it a little bit more difficult than it needs to be? Because challenges are good for us. So if I'm seeing something as overly challenging or it's too hard or too difficult, actually, I might be just kind of getting in the way of my own Physis. And what if I thought differently about it? What if I engaged with it and kind of turned it around and figured out, well, what can I learn from this? What am I learning about myself?
Wow.
Do you know?
Those are really, really powerful questions. What am I looking forward to today? How can I change my attitude towards something that I see difficult? Beautiful questions.
Great.
With this, I think, how do you feel we've progressed with talking about Physis?
I think we've got a good handle on it, and I'm sure we'll as these episodes, go along, I'm sure we'll touch on it again because a lot of the TA stuff that we're going to talk about is about removing the barriers to Physis. Do you know what I mean? And getting back to being okay.
Because definitely every day. Because definitely when you talk about life energy, 25 minutes is not enough.
Tune in, everybody, for the next episode.
But for everyone who's listening, thank you very much for listening to us. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you do like it, subscribe to our channel, follow us, and we will see you in the next episode of OK
Every day.
See you, everybody.